This curried chicken fried rice meal prep has under 500 calories with 40 grams of protein, making it a great choice for a low-calorie meal option. These rice bowl-style template recipes where you pick a meat, a vegetable, some rice, and a flavoring are my favorite version of meal prep. They're fast, easy, and they always hit the spot. Here's how you make this one. Ideally, you'll start prepping this recipe the night before you decide to actually do the cooking. Day-old rice is always better for making fried rice because it has had the opportunity to dry out a little bit. So the night before I whip this meal together, I cook some rice and threw it in the fridge. In this recipe, I'll use 3 cups or 450 grams of cooked rice, which for me is roughly 200 grams of uncooked dry rice. Next, I'm going to prep all of my vegetables, starting with one medium-sized red bell pepper or 150 grams worth. This is going to get de-seeded and then cut into thin strips. Next comes one small to medium-sized zucchini or 150 grams worth. I'm going to cut this in half the long way a few times, cut it into strips, and then cut across those strips to create a medium-sized dice. Following our zucchini comes one medium-sized onion or 200 grams worth. This is going to get cut into thin strips to match the size of our peppers. And lastly, you'll mince up 3 or 4 cloves of garlic until you reach 15 grams or 1 tablespoon worth. Once you're done chopping, you can make your chicken marinade. Place a bowl over a scale and add in 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of oil, 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of lemon juice, and 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of plain Greek yogurt. For your seasonings, add in 2 teaspoons or 6 grams of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons or 6 grams of curry powder, and then 1 teaspoon or 3 grams each of paprika, coriander, and cumin, and then 1 teaspoon or 6 grams of salt. Give the bowl a big stir to mix together all those seasonings with the oil, Greek yogurt, and lemon juice, and make sure that no clumps of the seasonings are left over. Next up, we've got to cut some chicken. In this recipe, we're going to use 2 pounds or 908 grams of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. We want these to cook fast, so I'm going to cut them into thin strips of about 1/4 inch in thickness. And as I'm butchering them, I'm cutting away any excess skin, fat, or gristle. Not only do the thin strips help the chicken cook faster, but it also creates more surface area for that marinade to grab onto and create more flavor for the final dish. Once all the chicken has been sliced and diced, I get in that bowl with my hands and I toss the chicken around until each piece is thoroughly coated with the marinade. If you place this bowl in the fridge for about 30 minutes to allow it to marinate, it could possibly deepen the flavors even further. But the thought of me having to prolong my kitchen time by 30 minutes for maybe 25% extra flavor makes me want to plunge a couple of forks through my eyeballs. So I'm just going to cook it right away. In order to get proper browning on this chicken, it is best to cook it in batches. So I added a little splash of oil to my pan and then about 1/3 of the total amount of chicken. In the final nutritional estimates for this recipe, I've accounted for an additional 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of oil to help you cook this chicken. So before each batch, I added about 1 teaspoon of oil to the pan. I'm cooking this over medium-high heat, and because we cut it into those thin strips, it's going to cook pretty fast. Allow the color to develop, shake it around, and when it's finished, you can move it to a plate and move on with the second batch. Continue cooking through the rest of the chicken in the bowl until it is all complete. By not overcrowding the pan and giving the chicken space to cook, it allows for proper browning to occur. Any water that gets released from the chicken can be evaporated off because of all this space. This allows the pan to stay at the necessary temperature in order to create the reactions that lead to browning. Placing all of the chicken into the pan at once can lead to the water release being trapped because it has nowhere to escape to, and this prevents the pan from getting hot enough to create those reactions. After all my chicken is finished, I'm going straight into that same pan with all of my peppers and onions with 1 additional tablespoon or 15 grams of oil. I'll mix and toss these around to help pick up any of the extra flavor bits that were left over from cooking the chicken. Season lightly with a bit of salt and let these go for about 2 to 3 minutes to pick up some color. Once they've had their time in the pan, I add in my zucchini and then I mix everything together to allow that to soften up. If you want these vegetables to still have some texture to them, it's very important that you don't overcook them at this step. You must remember that you're going to be reheating them in the microwave, which in itself is another form of cooking. I throw in my garlic last to ensure that it doesn't burn, and I stir it around until it starts to become fragrant. Then I'll add in 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of tomato paste and stir everything together so that it's well coated. I'll let this pan go for another 2 minutes or so over the heat to give that tomato paste the chance to cook out for a bit, and then I'll add in my 3 cups or 450 grams of cooked rice. If you find your pan is a bit dry after adding the rice, you can add in an additional 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of oil. It's nice to mix all the rice in and break up any clumps before you go adding in the chicken, because once the chicken goes in, you're going to have a pretty full pan, which will make it hard to mix. But once your rice is mixed in and nicely colored, you can dump in the chicken and then toss everything together to combine. Give it a taste test and adjust with salt and pepper as needed, and then you are ready to plate. This recipe will make 5 servings, so you can get out 5 meal prep containers and divide the contents of your skillet evenly between those 5. If you wish to add a pop of color and some extra freshness, you can garnish each dish with some chopped cilantro, but this step is optional. Each serving of this curried chicken fried rice comes in at around 491 calories with 40 grams of protein. When all of your meals have cooled and they're done steaming, you can pop on the lids and move them into the fridge for storage for the week. They will last for up to 5 days. So if you're in search of a low-calorie recipe to help you lose weight, this is a good one to try out. Trying to maintain a calorie deficit is always tough, so finding solid recipes like this one to help you stay under your daily calorie goals is crucial for success. Now, if you're someone who wants to make this but you don't need the low-calorie option, you can always just split it into 3 or 4 servings instead of the 5. The full written version with all the instructions and ingredients listed for how to make this curry chicken fried rice is published on mealprepmanual.com, and that is linked below in the description. Alright, that's it, bye.